So this review is for your last invoice. Okay, so now for the invoice here, that's your last project. So I wanted to use object-oriented design approach. That's after all, that's what you learn, right? In the object-oriented design approach, we normally write it down. First, we use some card to help us. Can anyone tell me what that card's called? Anyone? Anyone? So we are going to start as a programmer right now. So as a programmer, you will spend how to say, you will spend 75% of time in design, 25% time coding. Do you understand? So the design, you need to take a lot more time. So actually everything is from our head. So let's start it. Let's plan it. So once we see this, then you get some index card right now, the cheap index card, or a piece of white paper is okay. That's right. But Fa Chang, I love you. So we're going to design. We say something called class and what? CRC card. Uh, class responsibility and collaboration card. Okay, so we are going to do something to start it. Okay, as a program, you start with like that. So at a CRC card, first you need to identify. Looking for these, you need to find out nouns and you find out verb, because noun represent what? Anybody can be a programmer if you follow the way we teach you. Noun stands for what? You look for nouns. Noun stands for what? Noun stands for class. Good job, Luis. Noun stands for class. All right. And verb stands for what? Verb stands for function. Yes. Okay, remember that, Fa Chang. So noun stands for class and verb stands for function. So you take a look at this sheet here, and we want to observe what class. Remember, you don't want to say I want to write this program just in one class. That's not right. That's because they're too big and it's very easy to make a mistake. Make it as small as possible. Divide and conquer. Do you understand? Look for anything. It can be its own unit. So we see this car. I saw the address. So I'm going to make this as unit address. All right. And I also see this toaster, $29.95. That's a product. All right. I saw this line number here. The total is a variable, but because the total can calculate from price times 3, so that's not important variable. Anything can be calculated. You don't want to set as a variable. All right. Anything can be calculated out. You do not want to set as a variable. For example, this total amount due 154. That's not a variable. That's not a private variable. Do you understand? Private variable is the variable you need to get it from the user. Those not private variable because you can add from this 1, 2, 3, add it down. So once we weeded out that, all right, can you tell me what are the 4 nouns you observe from this printed address? From this printed invoice, what are the 4 nouns you observe? Okay, write it out for me. Okay, address. Good, Jeffrey. You find out address. Yes. What else you can find out? Product. Good job, Michael. What else you can find out? Quantity. That's a very good variable, but quantity can be part of the line item, Jeff. Okay, line item. Yes. So we want to be simplify these, and we also want it to be simple enough, but we also don't want to be include something we can calculate. So line item. Then entire this sheet, entire this paper is called invoice. Okay, so I need invoice. Is that okay? So I need invoice. What am I right now? I'm invoice. Okay. So I have four variables right here, four nouns. So because four nouns, I'm going to create four classes. Take a look at first class here. First class is called address. All right. So can you read this address right here? From here, the address here. From this address, you read it. And give me the, remember, divide and conquer. As a programmer, you want to make it as small as possible right now. Read at this address, what you can see. The parts of this address. Same small appliance is a name. Yes. What's 100 Main Street? Is a street address, city, state, and zip code. Yes. All right. So let's see here. Based on that, what's a private variable you see here? Okay. I see name. I see street address. I see city address. I see state. I see zip code. So that will be your private variable. All right. Name, street, city, state, and zip. That's your private variable. Okay, because you saw that. Based on what you see. Remember, you are a programmer. You create a system by what you observe. You are trained to observe things. After you observe it, you write as a program. So people see this and as an address. So other people, they are not trained. They see this address. You see the parts. You see the variables. You are trained to see variable. Now you find variables. You saw 5 variables. Now you are trained to see the function. You have to format by this way. Name first, next line, and street address, next line, city, then comma, then state, then space. You are trained to see what you do. So you are trained to see what is the function of the address. What? Format the address. Format the address. How do you format it? How does the address class format the address? Huh? Tell me. I'm not going to write down answer. You tell me. How do you format it? How did you format it? One more time, go back to see this line. How do you format it? Can you run one phone? And anyone write for me with easy English. You display the customer's name, then what? Move to next line, right? And you display street address, move to next line, and you display what? City, then plus a comma, then state, plus a space, then zip code. Write it down. Can anyone write it down what I say for me? How do you display that? Other people see that's an address. You need to see that's a code, right? Because your job is a programmer. You are not a pretty looking customer. Do you understand? Your job, you are trained to see these. If I'm successful, I don't think I'm successful. You know, sometimes I'm frustrated, disappointed. I don't know what I'm training right now. Okay, but if you are trained, you see that. Write it down. Write it down. How did you format it? What you supposed to format it with your class address? Fa Chang, good. I love you. Fa Chang is name, and this and Fa Chang you just put \n. Let's go to next line. Street address, you probably need to \n. Let's go to next line. And city, you need to have a comma, right? Then state, I think you need to have a space. Then zip. Then you go to next line. Do you understand? So that's what people see. This is what you see. This is what other people see. That's how other people see. This is what you see. You are trained to be a programmer, guys. Come on. That's why you take advanced programming. Or again, many of you say, I don't need it. I only need an A, to apply to. Don't tell me that, okay? It's just disgusting to hear that I only need an A, okay? Then you don't need to learn anything. Just then fine, be it. Okay, product right now. Next, product. Okay, I saw a product right here. I saw a product. Toaster, price $29.95. I saw a product. Okay, I saw a product. So toaster, price $29.95. So based on the I need to change this. Based on the product, car, from the printed invoice paper, printed invoice. What a private variable for product class? What's a private variable for product class? So other people see a piece of paper. People see a piece of paper. Okay? Other people see the piece of paper, toaster, and this. What you see? What you see? What you need to see? What do you see? What other people see is item toaster, quantity 3, price $29.95, total to $89.85. What do you see? A product. I told you a product I saw is a name called description. It's called toaster. And the price is called $29.95. What do you see for these two? Because of that, what's other private variables? Oh, guys, I'm so tired. Come on, give me the answer. Gee, I'm so tired. I ask you, okay? So can I write it down right here? All right. So don't I see a string called description? Right? All right. Do I see a double called unit price? Do I see that? Yes or no? Right? So I saw that two things. All right. So I two things. Yeah, good. Fachang, very good. I saw description. I saw unit price. Because of that, I need to get description. I need to get unit price. Is that right? So what the function? What the function for product? Can you write it for me? Product. Can you write for me? Come on, right there. So just copy for me. What's two function right now? That will be what? Return string, right? And get what? Description, right? I need to do a description. Yeah. And the other one is what? Double get what? Unit price. Okay, that's the two function you're supposed to see then. Okay? That's the two function you're supposed to see then. See it. Okay? So, I'm going to highlight it for you. Now, let's take a look at the line item. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Now, let's see our line item right now. Let's see a line item. The line item, okay? So let's see a line right here, a line. This is a line. Toaster, 3 quantity, price, and total. What do you see in the line item? What do you see in one line item? The first line. Take a look at the first line. What do you see the first line? All right, very good. I saw an item description called toaster. I saw a price. Very good. But Michael, let's be smart right now. I saw toaster, I saw price. There's another name to put toaster and price together. There's another name for that. It's called what? I saw toaster, I saw price. But it was combined. It was combined by my previous class. All right. Right. Yeah, you are right. But this description and price together, what's a description plus price? What's a description plus price? It already been encapsulated. Object-oriented is encapsulation. It already packaged. So the description and the price already being packaged as a unit. That unit is called what? Product. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. I almost cried. Yes, product. All right, product. So right here, it's a product. Other people saw that, you saw a product. You also see quantity. Somebody told me the quantity. Yes, Michael told me the quantity. The total is not important. Every time I can calculate, that's not important. So take a look here. Take a look here. In the item here, in the line item here, I saw a product. Is that right? I saw a product. All right. Then I saw a quantity. I saw a product. I saw a quantity. All right. I also need to format the item. So based on the line item you saw on the printed thing here, what the private variable? The private variable will be what? What? Private class product. Okay, that's private product. I believe there's a private integer quantity. Okay, we have that too. Product. Good job. Okay, like that. We need to have that. Let me ask you this. So line item has a product. Line item has a class product as a private variable. So line item use product. Is that right? This relation is called what? So line item has a product inside. What's the relationship for this? You've been learned quite a lot of relationship. This is back to long time ago. You have friend, you have aggregation, you have composition, you have inheritance, you have polymorphism, you have a lot. Entire semester we learn all these different relationships. What kind of relationship is this right now? Sort of composition, but it's not they have to be exist each other. Steady, very good, almost right. I will give you 100, but the textbook wanted to call this aggregation. Aggregation is they don't need to be exist, they don't have to be like exactly. So composition, aggregation is a larger domain. That's it. So what's a function in line item class? Line item class. You read the line item class. Line item has to what? Format, right? Format. Okay. How does the line item format? Format. How does the line item format? You tell me. How does the line item format? Let me tell you, and you need to write it out. It will be on the exam. Let me see who can write it out. It will give maybe 40 spaces. I don't know how many. That's 40. Left a line, and write the description. All right. Then it will give 5 spaces. Left a line for quantity. No, this is center for quantity. It will give 8 spaces and format as a currency, 2 decimal places, and you give total. When you get total, all right, so total will be the product's price times its own quantity. That's very tricky right here. All right, so how do you format this? All right, how do you format this? All right, right here. How do you format this? Okay, outside first is format. Second one is find total, right? Get total price. So how do you format? How do you format this? Write it down what I say. And how do you get total? will be on the exam, so you better answer right now. How do you format? You leave space. Is that right? Right. You write. I'm not going to write for you anymore. You write it down. How do you get the total price? So your product the unit price times you have variable here, quantity. You see here, you are two level. You use somebody else unit price times yourself's quantity. All right. Let's go to invoice right now. Based on invoice card, what's a private variable here? What are two private variables here? Can you tell me? What are the two private variables here? When we talk the invoice is the entire sheet right here, invoice. All right. The invoice has an address, has a line number. The invoice has address, has a line item. Okay, has a line. But there are several line items. Maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 10. Do you understand? So I need a flexible data type to say the line. Then the amount due is not important because I can do accumulation. So the invoice here, when the invoice you see two classes. In the invoice you see two classes. The first class is address class. The second class is line item class. But the line item is a variable. For this customer is 3 line items. Next customer may be 5 line items. Next month maybe 1. That's right. So I really need, so the line item I need a flexible data structure is called vector to do this. All right. So let's take a look right here. Take a look here. One more time, okay? Based on the invoice card, what's a private variable? Once you see here, one more time, you see address, you see what? Line item, okay? So that's what you see, okay? You are trying to see the thing, invoice, you see address, you see line item, okay? People see a piece of paper, you see function and class, you see address, class, and you see line item, class. That's what you see. You see two classes. All right, you saw two classes. All right, so no, then you know invoice actually have two classes, address and line item. So invoice use address and line item. What kind of relationship is called? Memorize this. Will be on the test anyway. Okay, nobody care about me anyway. So what are the function invoice? They told you format. All right, format. But how does it format? Okay, how does it format right here? All right, how does it format? Okay, it call the address format to format address. Okay, understand that? So you don't format yourself. Okay, you address format. So address class format, address class format address. Okay, line item class format line item. All right. Then invoice. Format what? Format the big invoice. Format the then line item plus address plus line item, then plus the what? Total due. What's that? Amount due. All right. So the formatting actually done by 3 parts. Okay, it will be on the exam. You listen or not. Okay. The address will be done by address. Line item, the format done by line item. All right. So the invoice only format the invoice, and the address. This address done by address. Line item done by line item. Then you do amount due. So you invoice do the combination. Do you understand? You put the invoice, then you go to the address, ask address to print address. Then you go to a line number, ask the line number to print line number. Then you do amount due. Okay. So line item has a printing a variable in here, and we already find out it's by Jeffrey. Vector. So now this is a code right here. Take a look here. The invoice. We are going to use a we are going to use a vector to do that, because the container has to be flexible. It grows when you have more items. It shrinks when you have less items. You cannot use array. Array cannot do that. You must use a flexible data type. So you have to use vector. All right. Then to vector to add number is called pushback. Okay, like you're not memorized. Okay. Then to get amount due, I already told you amount due. You calculate. Whenever you need to calculate, don't set as class variable. All right. So item vector has a size. You get that size, and you accumulate amount due. And when you format, invoice format, format invoice. Address is done by address. And you print out description, quantity, price, and total. Line item format is done by line item. Line item format is done by line item. But there are several lines, so they have to do a for loop. Right? When you finish, and that's it. All right. So now that's the thing you need to do. Okay. So I complete the final project review. I hope you like the review.